Taewon Park stood at the viewing window of Research Lab 4, watching the strange creature float inside the clear containment tank. The soft blue glow from the tank was the only light in the room. It cast shadows across his tired face. "What are you?" he whispered. The creature moved. It had no clear shape. Its body looked like clear jelly with bright lines running through it. These lines pulsed with light, like veins filled with glowing water. Taewon had found the creature 3 days ago during a routine scan of planet XB42. The small team from the research ship Horizon was not looking for life. They were checking the planet for useful minerals. But Taewon's scanner had picked up strange energy readings in a deep cave. Against orders, he had gone to look. In the darkness of the cave, he had seen the glow first. Soft blue light coming from behind a rock. When he moved closer, he found the creature curled up in a small pool of liquid. It had moved when his light touched it. Not away, but toward him, like it was curious. Now, Captain Dong-go Kim wanted to destroy it. "Unknown life forms are too dangerous," he had said at the morning meeting. "We'd follow protocol." But Dr. Ju had fought for more time. "This could be the most important discovery in 50 years, she had argued. "We need to study it first." So Taewon had 3 days. 3 days to learn something about the creature before the captain sent his report to Earth Command. The creature moved again in the tank. It pressed against the glass near where Taewon stood. The glowing lines inside its body flashed in a pattern. The same pattern, over and over. Taewon leaned closer. Was it trying to communicate? He touched the glass. The creature's lights flashed faster. Taewon went to his computer and typed some commands. The room lights began to flash in the same pattern as the creature's lights. The creature went still for a moment. Then it changed its pattern. Taewon made the room lights copy the new pattern. For hours, they went back and forth like this. Patterns of light. Simple at first, then more complex. When the door slid open, Taewon jumped. Captain Dong-go stood there with Security Chief Minja. "What are you doing, Park?" the captain asked, his voice cold. "Sir, I think it's intelligent," Taewon said. "It's communicating." The captain looked at the creature. "Or it's studying us for weakness." "Sir, please, it's not hostile. I think it's just young, maybe even scared." "That thing?" Minja laughed. "It's a blob with lights. How can it be scared?" Taewon looked back at the tank. The creature had moved to the far side, away from the new people. Its lights had dimmed. "I need more time," Taewon said. "You have 3 days," the captain said. "Then we follow protocol." After they left, Taewon turned back to the tank. The creature slowly moved closer again. "Don't worry," Taewon said softly. "I won't let them hurt you." He didn't know why he felt so protective. He just knew this creature wasn't a monster, and he was going to prove it. Taewon didn't go back to his sleeping quarters that night. He stayed in the lab, watching the creature. The light patterns they shared were getting more complex. By morning, Taewon had created a basic translation program on his tablet. When Dr. Ju entered the lab, she found Taewon asleep in his chair. The tablet on his lap blinked with patterns that matched the creature's lights. "Taewon," she said, touching his shoulder. "Wake up." He opened his eyes slowly. "Dr. Ju, I think I've made progress." She looked at the creature in the tank. "It looks different today." She was right. The creature had changed overnight. Its body was less like jelly now. It had formed a shape that looked almost like a human head and torso. "It's adapting," Taewon said, excitement in his voice. "I think it's trying to become more like us to communicate better." Dr. Ju frowned. That could be seen as threatening. "No, it's beautiful," Taewon said. He held up his tablet. "Look at this. I've been recording its light patterns. There's a clear language structure here." The creature moved to the glass. Its newly formed head tilted, looking at them both. "I want to call it Sue," Taewon said. "Sue? Like water?" Dr. Ju asked. "Yes, it moves like water. and it adapts to its container, like water. The creature's lights pulsed. On Taewon's tablet, words appeared. Su. Yes. Su. Dr. Ju stepped back. Did it just respond to its name? Taewon nodded, his face bright with joy. It's learning our language through the light patterns I've been sending. He turned to the tank. Su, can you understand us? The lights pulsed again. Understand. Learning. Taewon. It knows your name, Dr. Ju whispered. We've been communicating all night, Taewon said. It learns incredibly fast. Dr. Ju looked worried. This changes everything. We need to tell the captain. No, Taewon said quickly. Not yet. He'll only see this as more dangerous. Give me more time. Please. Dr. Ju hesitated, then nodded. One more day. But I must report something. After she left, Taewon approached the tank. Su, where do you come from? The lights pulsed. Far. Stars. Many worlds. Are there more like you? Yes. Family. Different now. Alone. You're alone. Like lost from your family. Young. Sent to learn. Find new friends. Taewon pressed his hand against the glass. To his surprise, Su formed a hand shape on its body and pressed it against the glass too, matching Taewon's hand. The door slid open. Captain Dongho and Security Chief Minja entered. They froze at the sight. What is happening here? Captain Dongho demanded. Sir, Su is intelligent. It can communicate. It's not a threat, Taewon said quickly. Su, you name that thing. Minja looked disgusted. Captain Dongho approached the tank. It's changing its shape, becoming more humanoid. That's exactly what a predator would do to lure and prey. No, sir. It's adapting to communicate with us. The captain turned to Taewon. You're too close to this. He looked at Minja. Move the creature to high security containment. And Dr. Park is not to have access without supervision. As they left, Taewon looked back at Su. The lights pulsed a message only he could see. Fear. Why fear? Taewon didn't know how to answer. The high-security lab was cold and bright. Too bright. Su had retreated to a corner of the new tank, its lights dim and slow. The light hurts it. Taewon told the guard at the door. Can we lower it? No changes without captain's orders, the guard said. Taewon's research assistant, Yoonji Lee, stood beside him, taking notes on her tablet. She had not met Su before. Is it always this, shapeless? She asked. No. Watch. Taewon approached the glass. Su, can you show Yoonji what you showed me yesterday? Slowly, Su moved to the glass. Its body began to change. The clear jelly-like substance formed a more solid shape. A head, shoulders, arms. It looked like a simple human figure made of glass with blue light flowing inside. Yoonji stepped back. That's not normal. It's amazing, Taewon said. Su adapts to communicate. I think its species evolved to connect with other intelligent life. Su placed its hand against the glass. Taewon did the same, lining up their palms. What are you doing? Yoonji asked, her voice sharp. Showing trust, Taewon said. But as he touched the glass, something strange happened. His hand felt warm, and Su's form changed again. The face it had formed now looked more like Taewon's. Not exactly, but the shape of the eyes, the outline of the jaw. It's copying you, Yoonji whispered, like some kind of parasite. No, it's trying to understand us better, Taewon said, but even he was surprised by how much Su now looked like him. Su's lights pulsed. On Taewon's tablet, words appeared. Connect. Share. Learn. What does it want to connect to? Yoonji asked. I think. Me. Taewon said slowly. Su, what do you mean by connect? Mind touch mind. Share knowledge. Ancient way. All species learn together. Yoonji backed toward the door. This is wrong. It wants to get in your head. No, I think it's offering to share knowledge. Think about it, Yunji. Its species might have met hundreds of other intelligent species. Imagine what we could learn. Yunji shook her head. Or it could take over your mind. I'm reporting this to the captain. She left before Taiwan could stop her. Along with Sue, Taiwan placed his hand on the glass again. Is that true? Can you connect with my mind? Yes, touch minds, share self, no harm. And you've done this with other species. Many, long time, galaxy big, many minds, much to share. Taiwan thought for a moment. Would I stay myself, if we connected? Always you. Add knowledge, not take away. The door slid open. Dr. Ju entered, looking worried. Yunji told the captain that Sue is trying to take over your body, she said. He's on his way. Taiwan looked back at Sue. We're running out of time. Sue's lights pulsed faster. Understand fear, but not monster. Friend, brother. Brother. The word stayed in Taiwan's mind as Captain Dongo entered with 4 armed guards. Park, step away from the tank, the captain ordered. From now on, no one sees this creature without my direct supervision. For 3 days, Taiwan was not allowed to see Sue. He sat in the ship's cafeteria, pushing food around his plate without eating. The other crew members avoided his table. They whispered when he walked by. They think I'm contaminated, he told Dr. Ju when she sat down across from him. Like Sue changed me somehow. Fear makes people act strangely, she said. She slid a data card across the table. I took some readings of your alien friend. Its biology is like nothing I've ever seen. Taiwan took the card. Have they heard it? No, but they're running tests. Captain Dongo has been sending reports to Earth Command every day. At another table, Yunji sat with Security Chief Minja. She looked over at Taiwan, then quickly looked away. I thought Yunji was my friend, Taiwan said. She's scared, Dr. Ju said. Everyone is. Taiwan stood up. I need to see Sue. You can't. The lab is guarded. Then help me, please. Dr. Ju looked around, then leaned closer. Meet me in Computer Lab 2 in 1 hour. Hyunbin will be there. Hyunbin Choi was the ship's AI specialist. When Taiwan entered the small computer lab, Hyunbin was typing quickly, his eyes fixed on multiple screens. Dr. Park, Hyunbin said without looking up. Dr. Ju tells me you need access to the security feeds. Can you do it? Taiwan asked. Already done. Hyunbin pointed to a screen. This is live from the high security lab. Taiwan looked at the screen and felt sick. Sue was in a smaller tank now. Its body had lost the human shape it had formed. It was just a small ball of jelly with dim lights pulsing slowly. It's dying, Taiwan whispered. Not dying, Hyunbin said, but its energy readings are getting weaker. I've been monitoring them. Why? Taiwan asked. Because it's the most interesting thing on this boring ship. Hyunbin smiled. Also, I found patterns in its light communications, very similar to how AIs develop language. Dr. Ju entered the lab and locked the door behind her. We don't have much time. I can get you into the lab to see Sue, but only for 5 minutes. How? Taiwan asked. Medical emergency drill. The guards will be busy for a short time. She handed him a security badge. This will get you in. Hyunbin tapped one of his screens. I can loop the security camera feed for 5 minutes, but that's all. Thank you. Taiwan said. Both of you. 10 minutes later, Taiwan stood in front of Sue's tank. The creature's lights brightened as soon as he approached. Taiwan. The lights pulsed on his tablet. Miss you. I missed you too, Taiwan said. Are they hurting you? Not hurt. Lonely. Need connection. Taiwan looked at the tank controls. I want to help you. To set you free. Not yet. Dangerous now. Wait. Wait for what? Others come. My family. Soon. Taiwan felt cold. More of your kind are coming here. To the ship. No, to the planet. Looking for me. 3 days. The lab door slid open. Captain Dongo stood there with 4 armed guards. I knew you would try something like this, Park, he said. Now you've given me a reason to lock you up too. Taewon sat on the small bed in his quarters. The door was locked from the outside. A guard stood in the hallway. He was not officially under arrest, Captain Dongo had said. Just confined for observation. His tablet beeped. A message from Dr. Ju. Earth Command has responded. They want Sue in stasis for transport back to Earth. Taewon felt sick. Stasis was for non-sentient specimens. It would freeze Sue like a piece of meat. Another message appeared. Meeting in 1 hour to discuss procedure. Captain will not let you attend. Taewon paced his small room. He had to do something. But what? He was locked up, and soon Sue would be frozen for the long journey to Earth. By the time they arrived, it might be too late. And what about the others Sue had mentioned? If they came looking for Sue and found it missing? The door slid open. It was Hunbin. I need to check your monitoring equipment, he said loudly for the guard to hear. Then he whispered, I looped the security camera. We have 5 minutes. Thank you, Taewon whispered back. But I need to get to Sue before they put it in stasis. They're preparing the stasis chamber now, Hyunbin said. It will happen right after the meeting. But I have an idea. He handed Taewon a small device. This will unlock any door on the ship. And this. He placed a small round object on the desk. This is a ship-wide communication override. Press it, and you can broadcast to everyone. Where did you get these? Taewon asked. I built them. For emergencies. Hyunbin smiled. I think this counts. After Hyunbin left, Taewon received another message from Dr. Ju. Sue's condition is getting worse. Its energy readings are dropping fast. I think the separation from you is causing it harm. Taewon closed his eyes. He remembered what Sue had said about connecting minds, about sharing knowledge. Was that the key? He opened his eyes and began to plan. An hour later, alarms sounded throughout the ship. A fire in Storage Bay 3. All personnel were ordered to emergency stations. In the confusion, no one noticed when Taewon slipped out of his quarters. No one saw him make his way to the high-security lab. With Hunbin's device, the door opened easily. Sue was barely glowing now. Its body was small and still. Sue, Taewon said, approaching the tank. I'm here. The lights flickered weakly. Taewon. Too late. They come soon. Your family. They're still coming. Yes, but I too weak now. Cannot call them. Cannot explain humans. Taewon looked at the tank controls. I'm going to open this. Dangerous. For you. I don't care. Taewon pressed the buttons. The top of the tank slid open. He reached in and touched Sue directly for the first time. The creature felt warm, almost hot. It moved up his arm like living water. Connect. Sue's lights pulsed. Share minds. Only way now. Taewon took a deep breath. Yes. Connect with me. Sue flowed over his hand, up his arm, across his chest, and around his neck like a scarf of light. Then Taewon felt it. A presence in his mind. Gentle but vast. Ancient. And suddenly he understood. Sue's people had been traveling the stars for millions of years. They were not conquerors or invaders. They were explorers, teachers, connectors. The lab door slid open. Captain Dongo stood there with Security Chief Minjae, both holding weapons. Step away from that thing. Park, the captain ordered. But it was too late. The connection was made. Park, get that thing off you now. Captain Dongo shouted, raising his weapon. Taewon barely heard him. His mind was filled with images, knowledge, memories. Not his own. Sue's, worlds beyond count. Species of every shape and form. A vast network of minds across the galaxy, sharing wisdom gathered over millions of years. He can't hear you, Minjae said. That thing has taken control. No, Taiwan managed to say. His voice sounded strange to his own ears. Not control, sharing. Su flowed around his shoulders like a living collar of light. Through their connection, Taiwan could feel Su growing stronger, feeding on the energy of their joined minds. Captain Dongo took a step forward. Last chance, Park. Remove that creature, or we will remove it. Through the connection, Taiwan felt Su's fear. Not for itself, but for Taiwan. For what would happen if the humans attacked? We need to leave, Taiwan said. Let us go to the planet. Su's family is coming. They need to meet us there. So you admit it, the captain said. This was just the first. An invasion. No, not an invasion. Taiwan struggled to find simple words for the complex knowledge filling his mind. They're explorers, teachers. They want to welcome us. Welcome us to what? Minji asked. To the community, Taiwan said. Of minds, of species, across the galaxy. That's enough, Captain Dongo said. He turned to Minja. Stun him. We'll separate them later. Minja raised his weapon. Suddenly, the lights in the lab went out. Emergency lights came on, casting red shadows. Ship-wide system restart, said Hyunbin's voice over the intercom. Please remain calm. In the confusion, Taiwan moved. With Su's help, he felt stronger, faster. He pushed past the captain and Minjae, out the door and into the hallway. Stop him, the captain shouted. Taiwan ran. Through Su, he knew exactly where to go. The shuttle bay. Not the main one, but the small emergency bay on the lower level. As he ran, he pulled out the communication device Hyunbin had given him and pressed it. This is Dr. Taiwan Park, his voice echoed throughout the ship. By now, you've all heard about the alien life form we found. What you haven't been told is that it's intelligent, peaceful, and part of a species that has explored our galaxy for millions of years. He turned a corner, nearly running into Dr. Juwu. This way, she said, pointing to a service tunnel. It will take you straight to the lower shuttle bay. Come with us, Taiwan said. She shook her head. Someone needs to stay and tell the truth. Taiwan nodded and continued his broadcast as he crawled through the tunnel. Su's people want to welcome humanity into a community of intelligent species. They have knowledge that could help us solve problems we've struggled with for centuries. He reached the shuttle bay. There was one small shuttle, designed for quick trips to a planet's surface. The captain is afraid, Taiwan continued as he opened the shuttle door. I understand his fear, but fear should not stop us from making the most important connection in human history. Alarms blared. The door to the shuttle bay opened. Captain Dongo and 6 armed crew members entered. Stop the shuttle launch, the captain ordered. But Taiwan was already inside, sealing the door. I'm going to the surface, he said through the ship's comm. Su's family will be here soon. Anyone who wants to meet them peacefully can join us there. The shuttle engines started. The shuttle shook as it entered the planet's atmosphere. Taiwan gripped the controls tightly. They're not following us, he said, checking the scanners. At least not yet. Su had moved from around his neck to cover most of his left arm. The blue lights inside its body pulsed in time with Taiwan's heartbeat. Will your family know where to find us? Taiwan asked. Through their mental link, he felt rather than heard Su's answer. Yes, they would follow the connection between Su and Taiwan. Like a beacon. What will happen when they arrive? Taiwan asked. Images filled his mind. A ship, but not like any human ship, more like a living thing. And inside, more beings like Su, but older, wiser, each one connected to different species from across the galaxy. They want to connect with humans too, Taiwan said, understanding. To add us to the network. Fear, that was what he felt from Su. Fear that humans would reject the offer, that they would react with violence, as Captain Dongo had. Not all humans are the same, Taiwan said. Some will understand. The shuttle passed through clouds. Below, the planet's surface came into view, mostly water, with small islands covered in purple plants. "The cave where I found you," Taewon said. "That's where we should go." He guided the shuttle down, landing on a flat area near the cave entrance. The air outside was breathable, but had a sweet smell, like fruit. As Taewon stepped out of the shuttle, he felt a change. Su was moving, flowing over more of his body. Not just his arm now, but across his chest, down his other arm, up his neck. "Su, what are you doing?" Complete connection. The thought formed in his mind. To prepare for the others. To make Taewon ready. Ready for what? To join. To be part of the network. To be more. The blue lights spread across Taewon's skin. Not covering it, but merging with it. He felt no pain. Only a strange warmth and a sense of expansion, as if his mind was growing beyond its normal limits. He looked down at his hands. They glowed from within, blue light tracing the veins and nerves under his skin. "What's happening to me?" "Not happening to you. Happening with you. We join. We learn from each other. I become more human. You become more us, but still you." Taewon's senses sharpened. He could feel the ground beneath his feet in new ways, could sense the life in the purple plants, could even feel faint echoes of distant mines. Suddenly, a new sound. From above. Another shuttle. From the horizon. It landed 100 meters away. The door opened. Dr. Ju stepped out. Behind her were Hyunbin, and to Taewon's surprise, Yeonji. They all stopped when they saw him. "Taewon," Dr. Ju called. "Is that you?" He looked down at himself again and understood their shock. His body glowed with blue light. He looked partly human, partly like Su. "It's me," he said. His voice had a strange harmony to it, as if two voices spoke as one. "We are joined, but I am still me." "They're coming," Yeonji said, pointing to the sky. "The captain with armed crew. They think you've been taken over." "How much time do we have?" Taewon asked. "Minutes," Hyunbin said. "We came to warn you." "And to see," Dr. Ju added, taking a step closer. "To understand what's happening." Taewon led Dr. Ju, Hyunbin, and Yeonji into the cave where he had first found Su. Inside, the walls glowed with a soft blue light that seemed to pulse in time with the lights now flowing through Taewon's body. "The pool where I found Su wasn't just water," Taewon explained. His voice still carried that strange dual quality, as if two beings spoke as one. It was a communication point, a place to call home. "And now?" Dr. Ju asked, looking around in wonder. "Now I am the communication point," Taewon said. "Su and I together." Yeonji kept her distance, watching Taewon with a mix of fear and fascination. "Does it hurt?" she finally asked. "No," Taewon smiled. "It feels like having a second set of thoughts, a second way of seeing the world." A rumble from outside. The sound of more shuttles landing. "They're here," Hyunbin said, looking toward the cave entrance. "So are they," Taewon said, pointing deeper into the cave. The blue glow on the walls was getting brighter, pulsing faster. "Su's family?" Dr. Ju asked. Taewon nodded. "They're coming from above, around, through." He struggled with the words. "Their ships don't work like ours." The air in the cave began to shimmer, like heat waves on a hot day. The blue light gathered, forming a circle on the far wall. "Get ready," Taewon said, "and don't be afraid." The circle of light expanded, becoming a hole that seemed to lead somewhere else. Not another place exactly, more like a space between places. And through this hole came a shape. It looked a bit like Su had in the beginning. A clear, jelly-like form with blue lights inside, but much larger and more complex. The lights formed patterns that changed constantly. Taewon stepped forward. The lights in his body pulsed in a matching rhythm to the new arrival. "This is a teacher," Taewon said. an elder of Su's people. It has connected with 17 different species across our galaxy. The teacher moved closer to them. It seemed to flow rather than walk. As it approached, it began to change shape, growing taller, forming limbs, a head, features. In moments, it stood before them looking nearly human, but still made of that clear substance with blue light flowing inside. "I greet you," it said. Its voice was like gentle music. "I am grateful that you have cared for the young one." Dr. Ju stepped forward. "You speak our language. I learned through the young one and its bond with Taiwan. I see your thoughts, your fears, your hopes." More sounds from outside. Voices. Captain Dongo giving orders. "There is danger approaching," the teacher said. "Humans who do not understand." "Can you hide?" Yunji asked, surprising everyone. "Until we can explain." "No need," the teacher said. "More of us come. We will show them." The circle of light expanded again. More beings like the teacher began to emerge. 5, 10, 15. Each one different. Some resembling humans, others keeping their natural form. Still others looking like species none of them had ever seen before. "What is happening?" Hyundai asked. "The beginning," Taewon said. "The first contact between humanity and the network of minds." Captain Dongo appeared at the cave entrance with armed crew members. They froze at the sight of so many alien beings. "Captain," Taewon called, "meet our new friends." 1 year had passed since that day in the cave. Taewon stood before the United Earth Council in the great meeting hall in Seoul. Beside him stood Su, no longer attached to Taewon, but standing as its own being. Su now looked almost human, though its skin remained slightly transparent with blue lights flowing beneath. 1 year ago, Taewon began, his voice calm and clear. "Most of humanity thought we were alone in the galaxy. Today, we know differently." The room was filled with leaders from around the world. Some looked at Su with wonder, others with suspicion. "Some still call them monsters," Taewon continued. "Some still fear what we do not understand. But I stand before you today to tell you what I have learned from my brother." He gestured to Su, who smiled at the assembly. In the past year, much had changed. After the first meeting in the cave, Captain Dongo had nearly ordered his crew to fire on the aliens. But then something unexpected happened. The teacher had approached him directly, unarmed, and offered its hand in peace. It was Dr. Ju who had convinced the captain to accept that hand. And in that moment of contact, the captain had felt what Taewon had experienced. Not a takeover of his mind, but an expansion, a glimpse of something greater. Now ships from Earth were traveling to 3 different worlds where Su's people had established meeting places. Humans were learning technologies that would have taken them centuries to develop on their own. Cures for diseases, ways to clean their polluted planet, methods to grow food in places where nothing had grown before. "We have been invited to join a community of minds that spans our galaxy," Taewon told the assembly. "Not to lose ourselves, but to grow beyond what we thought possible." He looked out at the crowd and saw familiar faces. Dr. Ju, now head of the new Interspecies Medical Research Center. Hyundai, working with Su's people to develop new computer systems. Even Yunji, who had overcome her fear and become an ambassador to the stars. And there was Captain Dongo, now Admiral Dongo, in charge of Earth's first joint human-alien exploration fleet. Some ask why Su's people didn't just arrive in massive ships. Taewon said, "Why they sent a young one alone to make first contact?" The answer is simple. They have learned through millions of years that fear is the greatest barrier between species. A single young one, needing help, creates less fear than a fleet of ships. Taewon smiled at Su, who returned the expression in a way that was both human and not. They needed one human to see beyond fear, to look at a strange being and see not a monster, but a potential friend, a potential brother. Taewon extended his hand. Su took it. The blue light from Su's body flowed briefly into Taewon's hand, then back again, a reminder of their connection. Today we take our first official steps into a larger community, Taewon said. We do so not as conquered, but as welcomed equals. Not in fear, but in friendship. He turned to Sue and spoke the words that had changed everything. Not as monsters, but as brothers.